What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Retro. I just got a quick little homemade intro for the video today. I wanted to make it feel authentic and homey because I got a really special thing I want to show you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So let's get into the video. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just going to do a quick video this week, and I got this issue from March 1992, and I'm just going to flip through it real quick. I'm not going to do a full review on this issue, but there was something in this issue I really wanted to look at, and I really wanted to show you guys. So on the front cover here, this has a huge write-up for the original Street Fighter II. At this time, arcades were just booming again because of Street Fighter II, basically. And this is just your typical magazine. I'm kind of going to flip through here. John Madden, an ad for Mega Man 4. Pretty cool. I'm going to flip through here. They got the section where people wrote in, asked questions. The Rocketeer. This is the cutting edge section, virtual reality. Like, that's supposed to be the future. I mean, come on. And here's the 1991 Reader's Choice Awards. 8-bit Game of the Year, Battletoads.
Inconceivable!
I highly disagree with that, especially 1991. But 16-bit Game of the Year for 1991. Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, whatever. And graphics achievement, Sherlock Holmes, you know, whatever. Sound achievement, Castlevania 4. I agree with that. That was an incredible game for 1991, and the audio was incredible. Action Adventure, Castlevania 4. Best Shoot 'em Up, Gaiaris for the Genesis. I think that's how you say that, Gaiaris or Gaiaris, something like that. Best Role Playing, Final Fantasy 2 for the Super Nintendo. And here we go with the reviews. I'm not going to get into these too much because I really want to show you one thing in this book. Is the GamePro Reader Survey. Now, this was a little survey you could fill out, mail it in, and you would get a chance to be picked to get a free prize. And I wanted to talk about this because, for one, I used to do this all the time, but I never got to send it in. I would always just write it in the magazine. But he actually did this also, and I thought it was really cool, so I'd go through it with you guys. I love finding, like, people who write in magazines or circle games that they wanted. It gives me an aspect of, like, that's what this person was into, who, you know, whoever owned this magazine. And just this month, just in 1 month of March 92, GamePro was giving away a Super Nintendo, a Genesis, a Game Boy, 10 games, 15 t-shirts, and 20 one-year subscriptions to GamePro. So that's super cool, man. I mean, just think if you were one of the lucky ones who actually won something, either a t-shirt or, hell, even a Super Nintendo. That'd be incredible. But the person who filled this out is 12 years old. He owns an NES, a Game Boy, and a Genesis. And it says, do you plan on picking up any other system this year? And he doesn't. He checks none. And I found that very interesting because the Super Nintendo is an option, and this came out in 92, which would be February on the newsstands. So the Super Nintendo was already out. So he either just didn't want to get one, or he couldn't afford to get one, his parents. But I feel like if he had 30 games, he owned 30 games at the time. I never owned 30 games, and I went to people's house and they had 10 to 15, and I thought they were millionaires. So I think his parents did well for themselves, but he just maybe wasn't interested in the Super Nintendo. Anyway, he buys all his games at the computer store. His favorite type of games are adventure and movie games. He plays about 1 to 5 hours a week, which I think is incredibly low. But everyone's different. I just remember playing way more than 5 hours. Maybe that's why my grades were so bad, huh? But anyway, the next page here is where it gets interesting. And this right here just says, how many times did you read the last issue? And he puts 5 times. So I'm going to bring this little Sega Genesis thing up here. Because his address is on the other side, and I don't want to show it, so cover his information. But this is where it gets interesting. He subscribes to GamePro, and it asks, how many people in his house, you know, use GamePro, and it's just him. He's the only one who, you know, benefits from having the subscription. So that was pretty cool. What an awesome parent, you know what I mean, to do that for you. So his favorite section in the magazine is called Hot at the Arcades. Street Fighter 2 rejuvenated the arcade scene. And magazines like GamePro had a section called Hot at the Arcades, and it would show all the new arcade games coming out. So that was his favorite section. And he writes a couple things down here. And if you notice, it's in cursive. And I think that's very, very unique because at the time, back in 92, they were teaching cursive in school and middle school. And they just don't do that now. Nobody writes in cursive anymore, or they don't teach it at least. But it says, what do you like most about GamePro better than any other magazine? And he says, it reviews games from all systems. And isn't that just so true? I mean, I love Nintendo Power, but some of their reviews were biased, I felt. Plus, they only review Nintendo games. So if I wanted to get any review for any other console, like the Neo Geo or the Game Gear or the Genesis or the TurboGrafx, I had to turn to GamePro and EGM to get those reviews. So I understand. What, if anything, don't you like about GamePro? And he said, Hot at the Arcades isn't in every issue. So, you know, not every month a new arcade game comes out, so he's pretty disappointed in that. But I found this next question very interesting. It says, are you planning to buy a specific game you saw in GamePro? And he picked 3 games: The Terminator, Two Crude Dudes, and Kid Chameleon. Now, if you notice, every one of those games are Genesis games, obviously, because he has a Genesis only, so I thought that was cool. And it said, what would you like to see or read about in the future in GamePro? And he said, more Hot at the Arcades. And this is just where you fill it out, and the drawing will be held April 1st, 1992. And don't worry, April 1st, it wasn't like a joke, like, oh, we're just joking, we're not giving this stuff away. They actually did this every month, so really, really cool. And here's the thing, I got this magazine off of eBay in a lot. And I messaged the seller and I said, hey, was you the original owner of this magazine? And he said, no, my friend was, and I'm helping him get rid of them. And I said, well, does his name happen to be this, which is under this paper right here? And he said, yeah, that's him. And I said, that is so cool that he filled this out. So I sent a couple pictures and I told him to show him, because I think that would be cool for somebody to see something that I wrote when I was 12 years old and then send me pictures of it and maybe unlock a memory I had of when I played these games. So I sent him the little information. I did a little Googling. I don't want to sound like a weirdo, but I did a little Googling. And his address on the thing, I don't know if he still is there. That's why I didn't want to show it. But I can see why he had 30 games. His house looked incredible. It was a mansion compared to what I was used to. So I just thought that was really, really cool. And I hope he enjoys this. I told him I was going to do a little video on it. I think I could say his first name. His first name's Ryan. And man, Ryan, you had a killer childhood, man. And I hope you enjoy this little video and seeing all the games that you wanted and just the stuff that you put in here. So, yeah, guys, that's it. I thought this was really cool. Hopefully it didn't go too long. Yeah, that's GamePro March 1992 issue. There's some other things in here, but I don't really want to do a review of the magazine because I'm going to plan to do more of these. But yeah, if you guys get a chance, pick you up a couple GamePros. They really bring back the nostalgia of being a kid and going into the store and, you know, picking this up and being like, oh man, Street Fighter 2, like, I can't wait till this hits the Super Nintendo, you know what I mean? So yeah, guys, until next time, keep on reminiscing, y'all. What's going on, y'all? I just want to take a short moment to talk about my buddy Sean. He sells vintage G.I. Joe and other vintage figures at the conventions around here, and I think you should get a hold of him if you're looking to buy some figures. All 100% complete, all authentic weapons, file cards, and figures. No reproduction stuff here. He's super affordable, insane quality, and I've been buying from him for years now, and I mean, I've gotten almost all my figures from him. So if you guys want to get a hold of him, he doesn't have any social media, reach out to me and I can get you in touch with him, because these things are only getting more and more expensive. So if you're wanting to build your awesome G.I. Joe collection, make sure you hit me up and I'll get you in touch. Take it easy, y'all.